there's a reason why we tell you don't always trust the authorities. As we just found out, for 2 decades before the year 2000, the FBI had what is being described as a mass disaster in their hair analysis testimony. Let me tell you the gory details. In 268 trials reviewed so far, 28 examiners with the FBI's laboratory's microscopic hair comparison unit overstated evidence that favored the prosecution more than 95% of the time, according to the National Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers and the Innocence Project. Now, the FBI and Justice Departments have formally admitted to this grave miscarriage of justice. So they came in saying, oh, we've got the science figured out, we're going to match the hairs, oh, the guy's definitely guilty. It turns out, oops, they were wrong an enormous percentage of the time. And all of this was not really based on hardcore science or evidence. Now, more terrible details. At least 32 were sentenced to death. 14 have been executed or died in prison as a result of this testimony that was flawed. Now, you gotta understand something. It doesn't mean that all these people were innocent. Some were innocent, some were guilty anyway. We just don't know which one is which because this testimony helped to convict them. Now, we do know that 4 defendants have already been exonerated, saying, oops, sorry, our bad. It turns out that you never did it in the first place when we convicted you on this nonsense testimony based on junk science. Now, in D.C., they also explained that all the exonerated had served 20 to 30 years prison time on rape and murder convictions. So yes, there are oftentimes great injustices in the system. And yes, sometimes the authorities mislead you. You got to keep it real about that. Make sure you're a watchdog to make sure you keep them on their toes. Don't just trust them. You got to make sure they're doing the right thing. And in this case, they weren't. It's good that they finally fessed up to it. There was a lot of injustice done in the meanwhile.